This video is for you if you have just acquired a set of the Supercoherence Return to Love frequencies, also called the SRTLFs. This video will offer you guidelines and suggestions of how to make the best use of them to get the best results. Before we start, a word of caution. These pretty looking little glass pieces are very powerful. So what we recommend is, very strongly, is that for the first 4 to 6 weeks, you do not use them the whole day. You can at best use them for 20 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. If you're very sensitive, please only use them for 5 minutes in the morning and 5 minutes in the evening. These frequencies, as we call them, are site-specific. What does that mean? It means that when you hold them in a different hand, they have different effects. So the green frequency, in general, you hold the green frequency in the morning in the right hand and the pink frequency in the left hand. What I want to say is this, that you can also keep them in your pockets in the morning, because 20 minutes in the morning is a long time for a lot of people with so many things going on, and they will still work. You can watch your telly, you can have your breakfast, and they will be doing their job. So that is in the morning. And in the evening, what we do is we use them in the opposite hand. So the pink frequency in the right hand or the right side, and the green frequency in the left hand or the left side. Why do we do this? We live in very stressful times, and the system gets wound up. You go on a crowded train, you have colleagues, you have bosses, you have family to deal with, and some of the interactions are pleasant and some are less than pleasant. So the system gets wound up, and the system has to revert to zero. This is a very important point to understand, that the system, when it reverts to zero, it becomes neutral, and the effect of that on you is that you will feel calm and not tired anymore, even if you've had a very tiring day. This is very important because your system has to revert to zero to regenerate, to recuperate, to refresh itself. And normally, there are no easy ways to discharge this energy from the system. Normally, we use alcohol or a glass of wine or sit in front of the television and numb out, but that does not necessarily stop the damage to the system. So with this is a very good way to take care of your physical energy. You have used the frequencies now for 5 to 20 minutes in the morning and 10 minutes in the evening. So your system has become used to them, has adjusted to this new level of energy which these frequencies will give to your energy field. Next step is a very important one, and that is, we call that clearing. What is this clearing? Our field holds a lot of information, a lot of conditioning and a lot of programming from the past. All our past experiences are encoded in the field. And as a result of that, some of them are traumatic experiences from many lifetimes, and they all still have an effect on you. With the Supercoherence Return to Love frequencies, what we seek to do is to neutralize that information from the field. What that gives us is a degree of freedom that the humans haven't had for thousands of years. It's a big statement. There are many kinds of clearings, but the method, the essential method, remains the same. And the method is this. This is the Divine Mother photograph, which is used with all clearings along with the frequencies. So how do we do a clearing? please take out all your family photographs, and we're going to use them to do the clearings. What you need are your parents, your separate and together, your whole family, your siblings, your husband, your wife, your ex-husband, and so on. Anyone that has an emotional history with you in this lifetime. Having said this, if you don't have photographs, you can use the written name of the person to do the clearing as well. So please don't say, I haven't got the photographs, so I won't do the clearing. So to do the clearing, you have to do it in either hand. So you start with any one hand, and let's start with the left hand. So we hold the pink frequency in the left and the green frequency in the right. This is uniform and standard for all clearings. So you hold the frequency, you hold the Divine Mother in one hand, and you hold the photograph of the person you seek to clear with in one hand for a few minutes. That it can be up to 3 minutes to 5 minutes, generally does the job. If you feel more comfortable doing it longer, please do so. So you do it for 3 or 5 minutes in one hand, then you switch the Divine Mother and the relevant photograph or the written name in the other hand, and do the same thing for the next few minutes. The third step is to hold the two together with both hands and wait another few minutes. This is the integration between the right and the left. And finally, very important, is to make a verbal statement. That statement has to be made verbally. It cannot just be thought. So, and the statement is simply this: I love and accept myself exactly as I am, and I love and accept whoever is your protagonist in that particular photograph, my mother, my father, etc., exactly as they are. And that's the whole process of clearing. And one more thing about the clearings. Over the years, we found that people have a lot of resistance to doing certain types of clearings. For people with whom we've had a very challenging relationship, or who has caused a lot of trauma in our lives, we don't want to clear with them because it means bringing up stuff again. And my gentle suggestion to you is that please do that, because that's a lot of emotional energy tied up in that, and it needs to get cleared and neutralized. This will give you freedom and give the other person freedom as well, but more importantly, it gives you the freedom. And secondly, the other thing is on the very opposite end of the spectrum, where with very good relationships in the family or friends or whatever, we don't want to do the clearing because somehow we think it will impact the relationship in some negative way. That is not true. In fact, it will improve the relationship, give the relationship a depth of clarity and freedom which is not available otherwise. So please do the clearings for both the challenging relationships and for the good relationships. That is a strong recommendation. This is the Divine Mother image that accompanies the SRTLF kit. And it's an important image. It's an important part of the kit. Lots of people have a lot of issues with using this photograph because they consider it a religious symbol and are very resistant to using it. What I would say to you is that if you don't have any serious objection, please use it. Why? Because we've done a lot of testing with it, and what it does is it clears one step further than what the SRTLFs can do. We consider this photograph the frequency of unconditional love, and humans are not used to unconditional love. So there's a lot of resistance to using this photograph. And it's very interesting to know that when we did the imaging with just this photograph, most people became incoherent. Why is that? How strange is that? And the reason is very simply this, that humans are not used to unconditional love. They don't know what it really means. And the SRTLFs, when you add them, they are the bridge that connect you to that unconditional love, which is symbolized by this photograph. So please don't just take it as a religious symbol. We call her the Divine Mother, which is the frequency of unconditional love. And it is a very important part of this process. If you don't use it, you will not get the full results of what these frequencies and what this kit can do for you. But lots of people use just the frequencies, you will still get a very good result. But the bottom line is that this is the final one that will get you to that place.